Hello there, I'm AD Hobbs, and this is my movie review of Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. And there's not that many reviews of this one, and it gets a lot of stick. A lot of people say it's one of Ray Harryhausen's weaker films, but I can't understand what all that, dislike is all about. No, I loved it. I thought it was a brilliant film. I loved it when I was a kid and still like it now. So, yeah, well, to each their own, I suppose. Anyway, I'll start right at the beginning. When I was almost 7 years old, I was in a television store, and my mum and dad, they hadn't come to buy a TV, but they were going to buy some electronic gizmos or plugs or something, and I was getting bored, so they said go and watch one of the televisions. Because the televisions were sale, they were on, the sound was very low, but they were on, so I watched one of them, and I saw the most amazing sight ever. It was men fighting a giant walrus, and I thought, wow, that's awesome, that's incredible, yeah, amazing stuff, yeah. And then I got a bit confused when they were in a place where the temperature was really hot, a really hot country. I thought, what's going on? I thought we were in a place full of ice and snow, and then suddenly it's a warm climate, And then the bit with the big troglodyte, yeah. So, yeah, that's my earliest memory of this film. And I wanted to see the rest of it, so my mum and dad said, well, once we get home, watch the rest of it on TV. But it had finished by the time we'd gotten home, so yeah, disappointed there. What I should have done was look in the TV guide at home and find out what the film was called. Yes, you've got to get the film title if you happen to stumble into a film halfway through. Yeah, but I didn't think that far ahead. Anyway, then when I was almost 11, so 4 years later, there was a film I wanted to see on TV at Easter time. But I saw a bit of what looked like a Sinbad the Sailor film. So I recorded that on a video, because yes, it was videos back then, and watched the other film. And the tape ran out or something. Anyway, then I thought, shall I watch this Sinbad film or not? I don't know. Is it going to be good? Isn't it? I don't know. And then I taped over part of the recording with a kid's cartoon, And then after that I thought, come on, give this Sinbad film a shot. There's only about 20 minutes left of tape, you may as well see it. So I watched it, they're in the ice and the snow, and then of course the scene I recognised was the giant walrus. And I thought, oh wow, it's that film I badly wanted to see 4 years ago. Oh no, I wish I hadn't taped over that, yeah. So regretted my decision. However, I did have wits enough to do a bit of research and find out what the film was called. Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. Okay. So, about half a year later, finally Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger was on the telly again. I'd missed, I think, the first 30 minutes of it, but as you can imagine, I was pretty determined to see the film no matter what. I thought, okay, close enough, that'll have to do. So I watched the film and loved it. Really enjoyed it. And, yeah, because I'd always been a big fan of Clash of the Titans, and the special effects done by Ray Harryhausen, and you can sort of tell because they're like the same sort of style. And yeah, I think the thing I loved about it was unpredictability. Not knowing what on earth was going to happen next. We have a giant bee, we have a robot Minotaur, we have, of course, the walrus, the troglodyte, and then a saber-toothed tiger. Like, what on earth is going to happen next? All this bizarre, strange stuff happening. So 10 out of 10 for unpredictability, yeah. But when you've seen it a few times, all the seemingly unrelated events are relevant. They all join together to form a great story. So yes, it's very cleverly done, yeah. They do take a few liberties with the history of Sinbad the Sailor. I mean, in the original myth, he only has 7 voyages, and that's it. So Ray Harryhausen's first Sinbad film was called The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, presumably his last ever adventure. Then there's the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. And then Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger. So, why does he do yet another voyage? Well, apparently this is definitely his last voyage because he wants to marry Princess Farah. Alright? And under the law, you cannot marry her unless you have, consent from the Caliph, which is like a kind of king. The Caliph, however, has been turned into a baboon. So they have to turn him back into a human, otherwise he... So ironically, Sinbad doesn't want to do adventures anymore, but he has to if he wants to marry the woman he's in love with. So doesn't have a choice, yeah. And, oh yes, bit of trivia. When I saw the film, as I said, I saw like halfway through. I had no idea the baboon was really a human turned into a baboon, and I didn't realise that their mission was to turn him back into a human. I just thought the princess takes her pet baboon with her everywhere she goes. Which is really rather silly. I mean, who in their right mind would take a baboon on a dangerous expedition in the snow? But you don't question logic like that when you're a little kid, yeah. And yes, the animation for the baboon is great, the walrus, the troglodyte, one of man's ancestors, according to the wise man Melanthius. But, man's ancestors are ape-like cavemen, but they're shorter, not taller than modern humans. So, yeah, but there we are, just go with it. And, okay, eventually, when I was about 15 or 16, then I saw the film right from the start. Because before, when I was a little kid, I saw the film from the point after Melanthius comes up with the idea that they have to go to the Aramaspi, the Shrine of the Four Elements. But honestly, okay, a few gripes with the film. The first half hour, it does drag a bit. It takes a long time to get to the action. Oh, we do see those cool little devils rising from the depths of hell. That's like a little nod to fighting the skeletons from the previous Harryhausen film. But other than that, no, it does drag quite a long time. And we have to wait a long time until we get to the point, But then it's to introduce the characters, Why is the Whip Zenobia doing this? Well, because she wants her son to become the Caliph, that's why. So get rid of the one that's supposed to be the Caliph. But it does take a long time. They get to the island, they take a long time to find out if Melanthius even exists, Then they have difficulty being allowed to meet him and everything. So, yes. But however, in spite of that, when they meet him and they convince him to help them and everything, then the action, non-stop action from then on. We really get on with the story, yeah. So that makes up for that, yeah. Patrick Troughton had also been in a previous Harryhausen film, and it's good to see him back again. He's the wise Greek. Yes, the Greeks in the ancient world were very wise indeed, so it makes sense they make him a Greek character, yeah. And, oh yes, when I was 10, okay, so this is when I saw like part of the film, I knew my history. I knew that the North Pole was freezing cold, Why the top of it is as hot as the tropics, I thought, well, it's just a story, just go with it, Nonsense, of course, but makes a good story. However, years later I found out the North Pole and the South Pole were not always freezing cold. Oh no, there was once a time when they were as warm as the tropics. So I thought, oh, so the story isn't a complete fairy tale after all. It is, because the South Pole is land with snow and ice on it. The North Pole isn't land at all, it's just frozen ice. So therefore, when it was hot, there'd be no land there at all. But yeah, just go with it. What was it that caused the poles to go so cold? Well, it's a mystery. But according to this film, it was the Shrine of the Four Elements that made them go really cold. So there we are, there's one possible theory, yeah. So, oh yes, and at the very end, Zenobia orders her son to kill the Greek Melanthius. Why doesn't she order her son to kill the baboon, for heaven's sake? That's what all this fuss is about, to stop him becoming the Caliph. Yeah, and also, it is a great climax at the end when she turns into a saber-toothed tiger, but if she could do that all along, why didn't she do it sooner? Yes. No, that would have been much more effective than just her son fighting a baboon with nothing but a dagger, no magic powers at all. So in spite of a few nitpicks, overall, it is a very great film, yeah. It takes a lot of liberties with the historical accuracy. Nevertheless, a lot of fun to watch, yeah. If you like Clash of the Titans like me, if you like Jason of the Argonauts, I think you'd love Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, yeah. And it was, for me, a great end to the Sinbad trilogy, yeah. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for watching. I'm AD Hobbs, and I'm never bored.